I challenge you to a duel. It's the only argument I need.
I don't want to talk to you no more, you.
You got a lot of nerve.
Soon you will know what it's like to be defeated.
Stop defending him, Sean.
All right, let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome into the Sleeper Wire Great Debate Show. We are back once again. It is week 10, guys. It is time to start thinking playoffs. On today's Great Debate, I have, once again, Dirty Jobs Mike. How's it going, man?
Hey, not too bad, not too bad. Glad to be a part of the Great Debate yet again. Very fun stuff. I always enjoy being a guest on here. It's almost like a mainstay this year, though, huh?
Yeah, you're on all the time.
Heck yeah. I love it. I can't get enough.
I love it, man. It's great. Always good having you on the show. And on today's Great Debate, we are not talking about guys to pick up and play this week like we have been, basically the entire fantasy regular season. We are talking about handcuff stashes. And these are guys that you want to pick up now, just in case an injury happens to a stud in the next couple weeks, so that you have a locked and loaded starter, a guy that you don't have to spend a ton of fab on, in a couple weeks if an injury were to happen. A guy you can pick up now who you have on your team, so you're going to be good to go in case something happens. And before we introduce the players, guys, if you like what you hear, please go to iTunes or Google Play, drop us a 5-star rating and leave us a nice review. It truly helps out the show, allows us to make a bigger difference here at Sleeper Wire. As I said, we are doing running back handcuff stashes, and we have Spencer Ware versus Malcolm Brown this week. I've got Spencer Ware, and Mike has Malcolm Brown, and I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here. All right, so of these two guys, only one of them has experience being the workhorse in an offense, and that is Spencer Ware, who took over the starting role for the Kansas City Chiefs back in 2016 when Jamal Charles went down with a season-ending injury. In 14 games that season, Ware rushed 214 times, 921 yards, an average of 15.3 carries and 65.8 yards per game. And he also caught 33 passes for 447 yards, averaging 32 receiving yards per game. All that boils down to is, 98 total yards per game, so nearly 10 points in standard leagues, adding in 5 touchdowns as well. Granted, that was a completely different team, right? But the point still stands. Spencer Ware has been in every down back before, and he's been successful at it. Kareem Hunt, definitely the man. Okay, we're not arguing over whether these handcuffs are better than the guy in front of them. So please, guys, don't take it like that. What we're doing here is arguing which guy you should stash come playoff time. There are rumors that the Rams may rest Todd Gurley not only week 17, but maybe most, if not all, of week 16 as well if they have everything locked up. That's your fantasy football championship. But guess what? The same is true about the Chiefs and Kareem Hunt. The Chiefs are 8-1. If they've got the division wrapped up and playoff seeding set before week 16, similar to last year, then they'll almost certainly rest Kareem Hunt during week 17 and very likely play him sparingly in week 16. That leaves the fantasy door wide open for Spencer Ware. Now, obviously, a lot can change, right? I mean, week 9 just ended. We're talking about 4 weeks from now. It's possible that the Chiefs and the Rams, the two best offenses in the NFL, can lose a few times and throw all of this off. But now is the time of season when we start talking about picking guys up to snipe your opponents. So if you're going to be playing, maybe getting into the playoffs playing against the guy who has Gurley, you want to scoop up Malcolm Brown. If you're playing against a guy who has Kareem Hunt, you want to scoop up Spencer Ware so that you can...
Okay, so I like Spencer Ware, and yes, the guy has been a workhorse back before. But the thing that I remember most about Spencer Ware is even when Kareem Hunt wasn't there, they really didn't depend on that guy for the goal line situations. I mean, you started seeing people like Charkandrick West going out there and scoring. So I don't even know if this guy's a reliable backup if something happens. I mean, granted, they'll let him run from end to end, but this guy won't be punching you in those touchdowns. And you've got the Chargers, who are still very much in this hunt. They're hanging out there at 6-2. So they're going to be breathing down the neck of these Chiefs probably all the way down to the end. And so I feel like they're going to have to play Kareem Hunt till the end of the season. He might be more productive now. He's likely to not fill in until the very end. I think if this guy does sit out it's going to be more likely week 17 that you see him get involved, which if you're playing fantasy the right way, that's 1 week too late.
All right, let's take it over to Malcolm Brown. Mike, kick it off.
Okay, so Malcolm Brown. This guy is on a team that you already see. They're 8-1. The Seahawks are the closest coming up behind them at 4-4. So, I mean, with the schedule coming up for these guys, I mean, they've got the Seahawks at home. They've got the Chiefs at home. And then they play the Lions. I mean, that's almost 3 wins right there. Although, I mean, the Chiefs can probably beat them. It is a tough place to win. They're not really like not like Denver or anything like that. But just playing the Rams defense, period, is tough. So, I mean, these guys can keep you in the game and win. So I can see these guys probably being 11-1, 12-1. They're going to be sealing this deal fairly quickly. And the one thing we know about Sean McVay is he's not afraid to bench all of his starters when he's got that guaranteed lock on the playoffs. Last year, for instance, he did it, and he didn't even care about home field. He was like, I don't care about home field advantage. Let's just go. I want my starters rested. So that brings in Malcolm Brown. This guy has a 4.0 yards per carry average in his career. He's never really started more than a game. But once he gets in there, man, this guy shows that he can just fit that nice little piece, get in there. I mean, it's a great offense, a great offensive line. Todd Gurley is fantastic, but a lot of that is the product of a fantastic offense and an offensive scheme and Sean McVay's coaching style. So you just slot him in there. And again, he's probably more likely to get in there maybe about week 14, 15, 16. This guy can actually absolutely change your fantasy championship outlook. He could be the guy that you put in there to win you the week. Todd Gurley owner or not, if you're sitting there with an extra spot on your bench that you're not using right now, or perhaps you got like an IR spot that you want to move somebody into and you just have this space, get Malcolm Brown on there. The worst thing that's going to happen is he's going to be ready when Todd Gurley gets injured.
So Malcolm Brown is a totally serviceable backup. I honestly don't have much to say against him. He's been efficient when given the opportunity. He's kind of like Austin Eckler in that he does well with limited touches. Good yards per carry, long plays, etc. Looked great on that catch and run touchdown this week. My biggest argument against him, though, is his lack of experience as the starter. Spencer Ware has played nearly a full season as the lead back. Malcolm Brown hasn't. With less experience as a lead dog, there's a solid chance that the Rams decide to bring John Kelly into the mix to get some reps in as well. I don't think they're going to hand over the keys to Malcolm Brown. The chances of that happening are not as likely as if Kareem Hunt got injured with Spencer Ware getting handed the keys. Now, I know Spencer Ware isn't going to get 100% of the snaps if Kareem Hunt goes down, but he's been successful as the lead back. Malcolm Brown hasn't, and this is his 4th season in the NFL. Yeah, he hasn't had the opportunity to, but he doesn't have any experience doing it either. All right, guys, before we move into final thoughts, today's show is sponsored by PristineAuction.com, this great memorabilia website with hundreds of new auctions every single day. Everything is JSA certified. It's all authentic. It's free to join, and it's free to bid, and you only pay when you win. Visit PristineAuction.com today and let them know that you heard about them from Sleeper Wire. That's PRISTINE auction.com. All right, taking it back to Spencer Ware here. Spencer Ware is the guy who we all know is going to be given the workload if the guy in front of him goes down. If Kareem Hunt gets injured, it's going to be Spencer Ware. He's done it before, and he's been successful. He's a bowling ball type back with decent hands. He may not be an incredibly special player, but he gets the job done, and he's proven in the past that when he was thrust into the starting role that he can be good. He won't be Kareem Hunt, but he'll certainly be a startable asset to any fantasy team should Kareem Hunt go down.
Now, see, with the one point that I'd like to focus on here is that if you're the Todd Gurley or Kareem Hunt owner, hopefully you already have these guys sitting as your stashes,
right,
sitting there just in case, because you know this guy is the solid player. But, man, I love the angle of getting in there and sniping guys like these off the waiver wire well before anybody else is thinking about it, having them at the ready just for the very in case, because at this point you're already getting past your bye weeks. Granted, next week's your last real big one. So maybe this is a better conversation for next week. But for me, if it's for next week, that means probably everybody else will be talking about it next week. Let's get it done this week. Let's get ahead of the curve. That's what we do here.
And for the record, I think if you have Todd Gurley, you're going to lead Malcolm Brown. And if you have Kareem Hunt, you're going to lean Spencer Ware. This is more for those people who want to take that option away from their opponent, away from the guy that has Gurley, away from the guy that has Kareem Hunt. Use this to help you make your decision. All right, guys, follow us on Twitter at Sleeper Wire Show. You can follow Mike and myself on there at DirtyJobs21 and Prof_Chris SW. You can find us on Sleeper at Dirty Jobs and Professor Chris, and on the Fantasy Life app at Dirty Jobs and Professor Chris as well. Mike, thanks for joining me. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.